Hey James, what sensor do you want for this video?
Let's test a few out. Asshole. Hey wait, why didn't you bleep that last one?
Censorship is stupid! Specifically on a YouTube channel that's already marked not for kids and that swears regularly. I'm just gonna go with number 2 so we can get to the roundup.
Actually, can you make it number 3? I like that one the best.
Alright.
Hi everyone, I went to PAX South again this year, and you know what that means? Another supercut of all my adventures and another set of games I got to play.
Fascinating! Let's get to it.
Okay, reminder, these games are presented in no specific order, and that's it. Let's do this. Holy pants, that name is a mouthful. I talked about this game during my last PAX South roundup because it was the first time I had ever played it. Well, I'm returning to this one, because this time it was my first time playing it on the Switch. Also, it was Chris's first time playing it ever. Anyway, this time I didn't die to a thief that was 75 levels above me outside the very first town you discover. No, I died to a mage in the very first area after failing a deception minigame I had accidentally pressed the wrong button during. Then he called his buddies and I got instantly zapped to death. Other than the many ways to f**k up and die, this game is pretty fun, but requires a much greater devotion of time than I think I'll ever feel the need to put in. Also, it's a turn-based battle system in case any of the 4 of you out there who haven't seen or played this game have still not seen or played this game. All in all, it was fine, but I don't think I'll be buying it even on the Switch. Next. Man, I'm not sure how many times this game has shown up in my roundups, but at least 4 by now. Forsaken Castle is a Castlevania-esque game about this blue-haired lady going through dungeons and eventually a castle to kill a Dracula-equivalent big baddie. The demo I've been playing is still fun and has added power-ups such as different projectiles and puzzles. It seems like a fun game and I look forward to its eventual release. Also, if I can find it, here's a link to the brand new demo. If I can't, here's a link to information about the game itself. I'll start this by saying, I don't like Contra games. I don't like Contra-esque games. They are not my jam. They seem like they're made for the super hardcore gamer, with each attack being a one-hit kill on you with very little cushioning if you should take that single hit. Iron Meat had a way to counteract that though with multiple lives, at least 10 for each level. You were not knocked too hard for losing a life, just your combo and not a lot of progress. It'll definitely be fun for those looking to relive the Contra nostalgia, but I am uninterested. I could not get the hang of this game. Also, Screenwave Media should really have had a picture of the controls for each of your games up so we know which buttons did what. The demo for Loom put you in a room right next to a boss, and knowing the controls would have really helped me last longer. It took me 2 tries to realize, oh snap, there's a dodge button! Anyway, Loom. I guess it's okay. I couldn't beat the boss because I was a first-time player and the boss was very difficult. I don't see myself buying this one either, but we'll see. I'm really not sure what they were going for here, but this game needs some serious upgrades. First and foremost, allow us to use the control stick to play your game. Your dedicated use of the D-pad is a nice touch, but most games use the stick and we're used to that, so consider allowing us to use that. Also, put a much more noticeable distinction between holes you're supposed to jump into and holes you're not. Half the time I died because I jumped into a hole that was apparently just a pit of spikes as opposed to one that helped the game move forward. The game's very linear level progression will do away with the need to explore as you solve a single puzzle and kill a single enemy, but this is where the pit distinction comes in, because most levels have a pit or multiple pits, and unless you can pick out a few clues, it's not immediately clear which pit you need to jump into. Anyway, Otto in the Ancient Worlds is an okay game. I look forward to what they do with it next, and I hope I get to play their game again someday. Oh, hello there, Garden Story. This game is about Concord, a grape, saving his humble little town and solving mysteries with his friends. Fight monsters, traverse deep, dark caves, and rescue your one frog friend because they are the most reckless character in all of video games. The demo had you rescue them from a dungeon they stated was dangerous but decided to charge in ahead of you anyway. Then you had to save them from the boss at the bottom. I mean, if you know a thing is dangerous, why do it? For funsies? I hope that's not the reason the frog gives for all its boneheaded behavior. Anyway, I highly recommend checking this game out and opening your mind to Concord, his friends, his island, and his whole adventure. This is not a video game. This is a laser light show in which you control the lasers using your mystical, magical guitar. Strum the to get fish to sing in the background. Strike a chord to call forth futuristic speakers to solve puzzles. Lay down a track to light your cave adventure using the rocks you activate with your rockin' tunes. This is not a game, and cannot be justified as one. It is a moving, illuminating experience that everyone needs to try at least once. Power slide your way through it, I don't care. You will still activate the backgrounds and laser light shows this game puts on so magnificently. I truly hope we see more of this light show and it becomes the next big thing from Annapurna. Arcade fighters usually use an arcade stick, but this one uses a small, buildable arcade machine and marbles. You attack by taking off identically colored marbles, and sometimes you steal a crystal that powers up your attacks and you have 3 health bars. If it sounds confusing at all, that's because it is. There are a lot of layers and rules and things to keep track of in this game, and you'll need a basic understanding of Bejeweled to get it right. It's not for us, but we hope you guys like it. Oh, here we go. Dice Throne. At PAX this time, we tried out Dice Throne's Season 2 expansion, which includes 8 more characters to fight with, and Dice Throne Adventures, which is a cooperative dungeon crawling experience. First, Season 2, Chris and I fought each other as the Gunslinger and Samurai, respectively. Both are good characters with abilities that augment their attacks, and it really helps when you don't get enough of the symbols you need. We'll probably pick up 1 or 2 of the boxes with extra characters, but I don't see a need for all 8. Dice Throne Adventures is awesome. There are no other ways to describe it. You work together with a party of 4 other Dice Throne characters to fight monsters, explore a dungeon, heal each other, and collect King's Shards. It was a wholly inviting experience that allowed players of all skill levels to take part and enjoy it. We won, and we will be pre-ordering this bad boy for its release in July. If you're interested, follow the link on screen and you too can pre-order it. This one is short. It's Gang Beasts, but you're delivering packages. If you like Gang Beasts, you'll like this. It's a hilarious, unrelentingly funny game that will split your sides even before you deliver your first box with up to 3 of your friends. I look forward to this one. Yes, I know this game already came out, but I haven't played it before. It was my first time, and I'm very mad about that. This game is on another level, and to my surprise, it's not a roguelike. You aren't after taking one single hit. You don't start over with nothing every time you die, and there's saves and checkpoints throughout the game. It's a revelation. Take note, other games who intend to be roguelikes. If you want these customers, yes, I'm counting Andy.
You only paid me enough to do your intro and outro. Keep me out of the midro.
I didn't pay you at all. Then incorporate these things into your game. Don't punish your player for making one mistake. Don't actively drive us away from playing because you wanted to make every bit of your game hard as balls. Make save states, use checkpoints, allow us to keep our money and materials when we die. That's all you gotta do. Trust us, it's not hard. Anyway, Creature in the Well is a great game. I'm having a blast with it, so much so I'm 5 dungeons in and can't wait to see what they do with it next. Thank you, Flight School devs. You guys really created a great game. Taking a cautionary turn away from that game, we come to Foregone. This dungeon exploring experience borrows a great deal from Dead Cells, namely the art style and the look of the animations. It's kind of eerie. Anyway, you fight monsters, pick up different weapons, and dodge enemies. Apparently, not many people completed the demo they had because when Chris made it through, the devs congratulated him. I see that as an issue. If your demo is too difficult for the casual players at PAX, you may want to loosen it up a little bit. But that's just me. Anyway, fine game, fine look of the game. Check it out when it comes out in early access on the Epic Games Store. This is a game that tried very hard to grab every single piece of every 3D platformer from the Super Mario 64 days and use them in a creative way while mixing in combat and environments that were very large for the amount of things in them. A great deal of the different areas were barren save for the NPCs, single enemies, and those collectible light orbs. Getting into the game though, you are a warrior spirit trapped in a doll and you gotta get your body back. Using a sword, a hammer, a spear, and an empty hand, you gotta fight enemies, solve puzzles, and jump really high. It's a fine game and you can check out the demo right now on Steam. It's a cute little game, I recommend you check it out. I mentioned this one in our PAX West 2019 roundup, and since then, it's stayed its seriously well-animated self. However, the difficulty must have been increased between September and January because Chris and I had a much tougher time hitting enemies and stringing combos together. Also, something I realized, this game is in serious need of a block button. There is no way to get away from enemy attacks besides being upwind or downwind of their attacks, which doesn't work most of the time, or running away, which I never figured out how to do. This game is beautiful to look at, beautiful to watch, and really fun to play, but it needs a block button. The range of player attacks up and down needs to be increased, and the range of enemy attacks should be decreased. Alright, moving on.
Hey, and that should do it for games James just complained about that were at PAX South 2020. He and Chris had a great time, I'm told. They got to see a lot of people and bought a lot of stuff, as far as I know. Thank you for watching. Follow more of our convention adventures by subscribing. We make one for every PAX and most big conventions we go to. We also make other videos. We even have a video/podcast type thing we do. Check that out. Also, check out James's PAX South 2020 video from last week. This was a long outro. James didn't write one. He just scribbled out a bunch of notes, handed it to me, and walked away.
I had to poop!
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm glad I know that. Thanks for watching. PAX 2020 responsibly. Bye.